Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like these. Now, let's get into today's story video. Srazy ex-wife left for her AP, thinking it'd be better. Ended up depressed, now begs for help. To begin, I am 31 years old, male, and my wife is 28 years old, female. We have 2 children, ages 7 and 5. My wife requested a divorce on August 27, 2020. She presumably departed that day and was living with her mother. The next day, I get texts from her cousin claiming that she has been cheating on me. The wife swears she has never done so up to this point. We met a week later to perform a Zoom meeting on her phone to meet our son's instructor online. She receives a Facebook message that says, "Only a few hours, eggplant emoji, peach emoji, sweat emoji." I asked her after the meeting if she could clarify it, and she replied she didn't want to speak about it and that she had already erased the texts. She claimed it was one of her pals, since my wife was out on a date and apparently girlfriends get thrilled for one another and believe they're going to get banged, which I definitely did not believe. I became enraged and urged her to go. She informed me she was bringing the kids to another city to see her grandparents and go swimming for Thanksgiving, which is in October for us in Canada. She ended up lying and went to a hotel with our kids and this person she allegedly cheated on me with. The automobile engine broke up and died on the way back. The automobile she battled me for which she still owes about $12,000 and makes payments every few weeks. This is when I started to believe in karma a little bit more. My wife and I drank together and had sex around 5 or 6 times between September and November. I still wanted her back and to have sex with her. I'm understanding now that she's been seeing this man for quite some time. I discovered photos of them approximately a week and a half ago. I haven't spoken to her since I viewed those photos and verified everything. I really wanted to accept all of her falsehoods, even the blatant ones. So she cheated on me, dumped me for him, and then cheated on him with me. Just 2 weeks ago, before I knew for sure, she came over and we were chatting, and she let me feel her up and gave her a full body massage. I have no idea what's going on in her thoughts right now. Some further information. The kids are okay, my apartment is tidy, and I shed 50 pounds since she left. 235 pounds down to 185 pounds. She's came to my house a number of times and wept to me about how unfair it is that I'm doing so much better than she is. She's complained that it's not fair that I'm doing all of this now rather than when we were together. On Christmas, she assured me she still loved me and got me presents. Not just trash, but a bottle of sake since she knows how much I want to visit Japan and how much she enjoys preparing ramen and other Japanese dishes. So she gave it some consideration. I don't intend to be disrespectful, but she doesn't look very nice these days either. She's gained weight, and she's become obsessed with medications and alcohol. She claims to cry all the time. She told me she was depressed with me, left me expecting things would get better, but she is still melancholy, which bothers her. But, as we all know, happiness comes from inside, and she doesn't have any. So, if you abandoned me for someone else, be glad about it and make the most of it. She hasn't contacted me in 4 days. This is the longest she has gone without texting me in 4 months. When we were dating, she informed me that if she ever left, I would fail. She predicted that if I began working in a kitchen as a dishwasher, I would never make any friends. Apparently, she forgot how outgoing and friendly I am. All of the waitresses adored me, and I progressed from dishwasher to working in the line to being asked if I wanted to bartend. I was overweight at the time, and my self-esteem and confidence were in shambles, so I didn't pursue a career in bartending. She didn't like how many people ended up like me, particularly females. Whenever my wife and I went out drinking, she would invariably end up twerking on the wall or the floor and letting men record her. She flirted with everyone and had several of my close friends convinced that I wanted to duel with her. I don't drink very frequently, but one Halloween I drank too much at a friend's party and ended up passing out and spitting up all over the place. While I was doing that, she was in the restroom with men who were showing her off in exchange for free coke and who knows what else. But she persuaded me that nothing had occurred, leading me to believe that I was insane and that everyone else was incorrect. Basically, you're gaslighting me. I'm currently seeing a therapist, and I'm discovering that she really simply requires constant attention from other sources. Getting it from her hubby was insufficient. I realize we all have problems, and our marriage was far from flawless. I know I still love and care for her, but I'm not going to be a backup or a second option. I hate comparing my situation to hers, but it helps me feel better right now. I have my own apartment, a dog, happy children, my own car, money, and I'm in university, and even though I feel like utter, I'm going through the feelings so that I can truly move on and attempt to be at peace. Whereas she is living with her mother, has a damaged car, no vehicle, is begging for money from me, and is living on COVID money, is miserable, depressed, thought the grass was greener and it isn't. She is so scared of being alone with her thoughts that she sometimes sleeps with her mother or the children. She will not go on once I have. I'm not sure whether she'll ever move on since she's stubborn and realizes she made a mistake. In the end, I'm not sure why she cheated and left, but she still texts me, has sex with me, and tells me how much better I'm doing than she is. It befuddles the intellect. But on the other hand, how can you comprehend someone who doesn't understand themselves? I'm doing fine, although some weeks are very painful. It's as if she ripped my heart out, fractured it, and then smacked the other person on top of the shattered parts. That's the end of the narrative. There's so much more I could say and backstory I could provide, but I believe this is sufficient. Thank you for your time. Please feel free to ask any queries you may have. It's a challenging time to be separated, cheated on, and COVID all at the same time. Story 2. 4 years after my divorce, I, 29M, feel like I'm living a fake Plan B life. How do I get past this? When I was in college, I reunited with my ex-wife, who I had not seen in years. I believe we were in a dream relationship, at least in my eyes. I adored her. We had been to over 20 countries together, and she understood and loved me in a way that no one else had ever been able to. When she was the first thing I saw when I woke up in the morning, I'd jump out of bed and hurry to the kitchen to prepare her breakfast. Before she even realized she was awake, the whole shebang. She is a doctor, and I was a mentor to her throughout her medical school years. We moved into a little house near her family, with whom I got along well, and spoke about the possibility of starting a family. What I'm trying to convey is that I had a good time in my life and throughout my marriage to her. Despite the fact that I don't see things through rose-colored glasses, she wasn't without flaws. She throws tantrums from time to time since she is bipolar. Without any discussion about how to address concerns or see if we could work it out, she terminated our relationship suddenly and without a chance to say goodbye. She got greedy and nasty towards the conclusion of the relationship for no apparent reason, and she went on rebounds while I was still living with her, and she was on the verge of having a mental breakdown at the time. I moved out and took care of everything alone, went to the gym, started taking antidepressants, bought a car, and remained single for a long time before beginning to look for a partner. For example, I went on vacation, received a promotion, and so on. Despite the fact that I've met new friends, I feel as if I'm trapped in a parallel world that I never intended to be in. When I was younger, I dated an incredible girl, an Ivy League graduate who was kind and adventurous. My relationship with her, however, had to come to an end since it was so unfair that I couldn't get the thought out of my head that if all went according to plan, I'd be married to my ex-wife. I discovered a best friend who is tremendously supportive. He's well-educated and fascinating to hang out with, and he motivates me to do my very best at the gym and in my professional endeavors. However, he seemed to be a part of this parallel world life, since I had never met him in the one I so desperately craved. This has been the way my whole life has felt for years. I'd liken it to aspiring to be a pilot and learning during your last month of training that you have a physical condition that would prevent you from ever flying again if you don't get treatment. Although you could find another work, you already know what you want to achieve, and this life is instead of that goal for you. I don't want to live a life where I am instead of someone else.